Welcome back to America's Commercial Real Estate Show. I'm Michael Bull. Today we're talking about the office sector, the office market, and how it's impacting businesses. And look, the office world has been doing okay. The sector's been doing okay. Collections have been doing well, really. It's been kind of surprising. But look, subleasing activity is really sky high. Leasing activity is down. Because of COVID, a lot of companies are working from home. They want their employees to be safe. And it's caused some companies to think that maybe they don't need office space or are going to need less of it. So what does that mean for the productivity of these businesses and the growth of these businesses? If you lease a business, we're going to share some important aspects of your office use for you. What does it mean for office demand? What's it mean for the office sector moving forward? Well, I think the timing of all this has really come two factors involved. One is the COVID vaccine timing, right? I mean, people want to feel comfortable and safe. And even if you're in the school of people who think that COVID is not a big deal, that the shutdown's worse than the problem, you definitely want your employees to be safe and feel safe, and the people who come in your business. So the vaccine timing is one thing that's going to adjust the timing on the office sector. Another is really the economy. All these shutdowns around the world are obviously heavily impacting the economy. Are we going to have more shutdowns, less? When's this going to end? So that'll affect the timing. So I'm going to give you what I think are the timing and the results after this pandemic, and those are the two factors that will adjust the timing. My prediction is that in 18 to 36 months, there's going to be big demand for office space again, right? And that may sound like a bold statement to some, especially if you're in the camp that, hey, this work from home is working great. So I'm going to give you some reasons, some things to think about that recovery and the timing on it. So, look, if in 1.5 years to 3 years, I think there's going to be great demand. So think about the impact of work from home on your business. How has it been doing business lately? Have you been trying to do business? What's it been like? My brokerage business has been very active throughout COVID, and the clients and people that we work with have really struggled with the work from home, the delays, just the productivity. It's been difficult, and people have realized that doing businesses with companies that have work from home is pretty difficult. So when there's a choice of working with companies that do a lot of work from home and ones that don't, I think it's going to impact the results and profits of these businesses. The clients, attorneys, the lenders, the delays and inefficiencies has been real apparent. So when employers feel safe, right? When they feel it's safe, they're going to get people back in these offices. They want to increase productivity and profits, and they're going to do it. If you work in a high rise, then think about this. There's going to be a longer period of time for you there to feel comfortable, right? But think about this. After 9/11, there was a lot of talk in New York and other cities that, hey, no one's going to want to work in high rises again, right? We heard it. And was it true? No, it wasn't true. It changed. So while we're thinking one way right now, it's going to change as the environment changes, as COVID gets safer. If you lead a business or you work with those who do, think about these 10 things. One for your business is growth. Is it going to impact your company growth working from home? Think about recruiting. When you're recruiting someone to work at your company, you say, oh, you're going to love our people, you're going to love our culture, you're going to really learn from the people around you. By the way, you're going to be home by yourself. That's going to be tough on recruiting. Think about onboarding. If you've been onboarding people since COVID, you know about the difficulties there. We've done it, and it's difficult. Think about training. While you can train and do some of these things, on Zoom, it's difficult. Think about collaboration. Think about innovation. Think about culture, right? It's hard to understand and get a feel for the culture when people aren't together. Think about retention. keeping people involved, keeping them in your company is a lot more difficult when they're doing work from home or work from anywhere. And then the last two things I think are productivity. When you think about productivity and you look at that, how's it impacting your business? And last of all, profits. And so if you lead a business and you think about those things, even if you're in the camp now that, oh no, everything's working great, work from home, as things start easing up, it's probably going to be a little different from you. So think about this. If you run a business, what's your largest expense? It's your people, right? It's your salaries, it's your people. And what makes that more expensive is turnover, retention, people leaving, not getting good talent in the first place. So onboarding and recruiting. And think about it if you're an employee at one of these companies, career growth. Have you ever heard that, so-and-so moved up in the company because they spend a lot of time around the top people? Well, if you work from home, who are you spending a lot of time around? So it's probably your kids or your dog. So think about that for your career. Think about the expense of your people and that turnover and what that cost you, and then think about what your office cost you. So what's the future impact there? Look, another thing to think about is people like having that other option, that other thing in their life, right? That you have a home life and your friends, family, and then you have a business life, and you have those business friends and things, and you have that positive thing going on in your life that's personal and business, and they're two separate things, right? And I've had a friend one time was having a tough time in his personal life, and he said, look, just spend a little more time, excitement, energy into your business life. But if you're always working at home, you're around that environment all the time, that could be a lot tougher to think about. Well, will people want to get back in the office? I was talking to an employee, a high-ranking employee at a company yesterday, and he was commuting 1 hour on a good commute each way to get into his office in Chicago. And I was talking to him yesterday, like I said, and he said, look, I can't wait to get back in the office. Now, he was working from home. He has a nice home and a nice office at home, but he misses that environment. He misses the people, misses the excitement, the increased productivity and collaboration, learning from the younger people and the younger people learning from him. Even though that's another two to 2.5 hours a day in his car, he wants to get back in the office. People want to have that environment. We're social animals, right? There's going to be that demand. But what about the companies who say, well, look, I think we can use less space? You may think that now, but think about this. If you want to have your employees feel comfortable and feel safe, then you may want more room in your office for social distancing. You think about what's been the trends over the last several years. Less square footage per employee. And you think about when that gained the most steam was when the labor market was people were just glad to have a job, right? Hey, if I have a job, you could put me in 100 square feet per person, 150. You can put me in an open area. But what happens when somebody sneezes, somebody gets the flu, you have a lot of people out. I think it was a terrible idea, a terrible environment. What was the trend happening? Well, before COVID, the trend was happening that, hey, now that the employment market was strong, employees had more options. They're like, look, I don't want to be in that environment. People realizing the health issues of having that many people close together. So, and then you think about, well, maybe I can use less space if I hotel, or so does an employee want to come in and work where somebody just left, where, or they want their place that no one's been but them? I think I'd feel more comfortable in that environment. So I think what's going to happen is businesses are going to realize to be profitable, to be productive, to really enjoy your career and your business, they're going to want to get back in the offices. As far as the size space, they may really want more space. That trend of less square footage per person, like I said, it was ending anyway, or not ending, I should say, but it was a trend that people realized, and there were problems with it. So people are going to want more square footage per person. They're also going to want an office that gets people to want to be there, right? Because of all the benefits of being in the office for the person, for their career, for the company, for the collaboration. And so you're going to want an office environment where people want to be there. So you're going to want to probably have more square footage per person. You want to have an environment in your office that people want to be in. So how can you benefit from this environment? Well, first of all, if you lead a business, if you run a business, think about using this time to get a better deal on your office space. If you think about the benefits when COVID is over and the economy is rebounding, you're going to want to be competitive with your recruiting, with your retention, with your productivity, and you're going to want to use the office space, which is a lot cheaper line item than your career, than your employees, than your salaries. You're going to want to use that environment to increase productivity. So think about the deals you can get now. If you're leasing space, you probably get a better deal on your lease space than you could have pre-COVID. And I think that can last maybe for the next year. So if you've got a lease coming up in the next 2, 3, 4 years, I would look at that and see, hey, is this a time to look at productivity there? And you think about it, some of the companies are doing that. What Facebook just invested $368 million in an office environment. They got a great deal, a great property. You know, they're investing in the office because they know it's going to help with all the things that help a business operate. Microsoft just leased over 500,000 square foot in Atlanta, where our headquarters is located. Look, these companies realize the benefits of great office space. So if you run a business, now might be a good time to buy a building or lease a building. So let's think about if you're an investor. Might be a good time to look at office investments over the next 12, 18 months, maybe 24 months to look at the office environment. There may be some opportunities for your acquired property. So look at that. And then if you're an office owner, if you own office buildings right now, one thing I'd think about is be comfortable with shorter leases right now, right? If you're a lender on office properties or you're another stakeholder in the office investment world, think about being okay with shorter leases because some of the tenants are going to be more comfortable with that until they see how the economy rebounds. And also, you don't really want to lock in a lower rate or a better deal for a tenant for real long term. So be okay with shorter leases. And look, it doesn't matter who the president is in commercial real estate. The economy is going to rebound. People are going to need office space. The office world's going to be fine. There's just going to be a lull here for 18 to 36 months where if you're a tenant, user of office space, good for you. Go out and get a better environment. If you own office space, hey, get through this time, do shorter leases, keep tenants in your building. They're going to want to come back when they feel safe, when they see they're going to be more productive to be there. There's going to be more demand. All right, that's my scoop on the office market. Everything's going to be fine. All right, thank you for joining us for America's Commercial Real Estate Show. We'd love to hear what you think. We appreciate you sharing the show. Until next week, be sure that you always lead, learn, and laugh, and join us for America's Commercial Real Estate Show. If you appreciate the show, think about the opportunity to do business or refer business to our sponsors. Bull Realty. For customized asset and occupancy solutions, visit bullrealty.com. Commercial Agent Success Strategies. For incredible commercial agent training, visit commercialagentsuccess.com. Vista Property Reports. Use smartphone location technology for commercial real estate due diligence. Visit vistapropertyreport.com/CRE show. Core.green. Use ion technology to create a safer environment for your real estate. Visit core.green. For more commercial real estate intel, forecasts, and strategies, visit CREshow.com.